Chang here with an install video. I'm going to be installing this Holosun EPS Carry on a Sig P365 Fuse model. But before we get into that, if you could help us out with that algorithm, hit that subscribe button at the end of the video, hit that bell notification icon, and hit that like button, that thumbs up button if you like the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to put the red dot off to the side here. We have checked our firearm for an unloaded state. We're going to turn this takedown lever, go ahead and rack the gun, go ahead and field strip. This is a brand new gun for me. It hasn't been fired, but I want to go ahead and get a red dot installed on it before we take it out to the range. So field stripped so I can work with the slide. This is a factory 365, and then going to get into the Holosun EPS Carry. I've got another install video / review on this. I'm not sure if this was, I think this is the red version, since the writing is red, and it may only be the single dot version. So we'll see. I bought it when I bought the fuse from my local gun shop. So we'll go ahead and get all this stuff out, and then we'll get into taking the plates off and all that. All right, so this is the single red dot. There you go. Oh, there you go. It's hard to get the camera to focus on the dot to make it clear, but this is the single red dot version. So this is going to be a temporary solution for me. I will mount it, and at some point I'll probably migrate this off to something else. Notice there's no solar on this as well, so I don't think that I bought the correct model, but it is what it is, right? So we're going to go ahead and get the slide plate, or the slide cover, optic cover on the slide off. Cool thing is with the Holosun, it comes with a tool, and that tool torques. It actually fits here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this spun off. Timmer. I may have to go with something bigger here. I believe that might be a T8. If not, it's a T10. Feels like a T8. Let me go ahead and get the T handle on it and see if we can go ahead and break that loose. There we go. And just to confirm, ooh, I might be incorrect. I think this is the 8. And I may have, well, no, this is a 10. And 10 feels a little snug. This happens to be a 10 as well, so I think it's a T10. You see my bit drivers here, and I may have put the 10 in the wrong spot. So either way, if I grab a 15, definitely too large. You can see that. So the 10s have it. So we're going to take this T10 and go ahead and get that out. What the hell just happened? All right, once the optic cover plate is off, I had some rubbing alcohol, and I went ahead and kind of degreased this area, and then I got one of these precision Q-tips, which I just dropped. They look like this. Precision Q-tips are a little bit different from regular Q-tips, where the points are, or the cotton ends are actually pointy, so you can get them inside these little thread holes. And I got some rubbing alcohol in there, And you can see that this is all looking dry now. So we're actually going to go ahead and do our next step, which is to do a dry fit. So I'm going to take this and put it in here. And as I can see, the holes do line up. I don't necessarily need the optic plate that came with. So the Holosun comes with an optic plate here. And if I absolutely needed something to bolt into, notice how it has little feet here for other optic cuts. There's feet here as well that allow you to use this on stuff that might require an adapter. The EPS Carry will go directly on to your slide. So the next thing we want to do is actually figure out which screws are going to be the ones that work. So the EPS Carry comes with 2 sets of screws. They are pre-Loctited. So we have a long set and we have a shorter set here, and they're also look to be different diameters. So looking at these, the diameters look like they match up with the holes on the slide. So I'm going to set the thin ones aside for now. And they look to be Torx, and they do feel like they're 10s. I'm going to try an 8 real quick. So this is an 8, and that's too loose, so they are 10s as well. I'm just going to test fit the screw here into that hole, and that is the right one. So I'm going to be using the fatter screws, and I'm just going to go ahead without the T-handle. I'm just going to start twisting these in. Right, and making sure nothing protrudes. I haven't really tightened this one down yet. The blue Loctite's actually hitting the threads in the slide, so it's actually stiffening up a little bit more than my fingers can torque. This one, if I try really hard, I can, but I'm going to now use the T-handle. Oh, timber. So if you guys can see, the end of the T-handle here is impacting the edge, see my thumb here, of the sight, so it's creating a little bit of an issue. But I'm going real gentle here, not trying to put torque on the use your words, Chang. Not trying to put torque on the improper torque on the screw heads or anything like that. I wanted to actually really do that with my torque driver here, my quote-unquote torque wrench, as it were. So just moving it with my fingers, not really putting any force on it. So supposedly, or according to the book there, we're looking at 15 inch-pounds for each screw. So let's go ahead and get our torque wrenches. All right, so I'm a big fan of using the Fix-It Sticks torque wrenches here. Here is the smaller version. I actually don't have the clicking torque limiters. I have the spring-loaded ones here. I did a video review on them. You see them in a lot of videos. I'll put the card right up there. But to me, magnetic stuff. So let's go ahead and get the bit out. Go ahead and get torque limiter in there. So I'm trying to take this line right there, and I want to take that to the 15 or thereabouts. So there's 15 on that one. Ooh, that one broke open. At 10, it felt like it's stripped. All right, you see how it's marring up the top of the sight here. You see right there as well. So I would recommend maybe a longer bit, but these short bits are really all I have. So I'm kind of stuck here. I think I got that to 15. All right, close enough. Maybe that's 13 or 14, but yeah, that really marked up this this window on the sight. So once I have these torqued down to what I believe to be our correct specs, I want to go ahead and stake them. So staking is in some of my other previous videos. When we're talking about staking a optic screw, I'm not necessarily staking it like I am an AR. By deforming the screw, what I'm actually doing is I'm going to be using a black paint pen. I'm going to be marking or trying to get some of this paint to flow into the seam that is around that screw. So yes, I did put Loctite in it, but extra bit of insurance, I'm going to try to get some of that paint right through here. You can see that there. So you see there's a seam right there. So on my black paint marker here, right? And all I'm really trying to do is I'm just trying to get around that screw. Right, also trying to stay off the glass, right? So I'm going to get around that screw. Hopefully some of the paint rolls in there or drips down in there. And now I'm going to have to let this dry. So this is going to take, I would say, probably 15 minutes or so. So I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully it's dry enough. We're back. But a little bit earlier when I was using the torque wrench, the torque limiter, the fix-it sticks, I should have been using this thing. This is from Fix It Sticks. This is what they recommend. I ended up using this. Hopefully no harm, no foul. But in case y'all eagle-eyed viewers check it and go, hey, you're not using the right thing. All you're doing is using the torque limiter. My mistake. So going back in here, initially I was checking this over while I was drying. I already have a thought on this, not even in terms of doing a technical review. But if I look at the base of the sight here, I'm going to move it around. You see that white that shines through there, right there? There's actually a physical gap there. So I am not too happy about that. There's no locking lugs either up here. So, I mean, I run an EPS carry on my 365 daily carry. And got several thousand rounds through those and never had an issue. But I don't recall seeing that gap there on my regular 365. So you guys can see that as I'm moving around. So like I said, this is a temporary solution. I'm probably going to put one of the Sig, I think they're Romeo Zero Pros. I want to give those a shot. So I'll probably disassemble this at some point once I get that sight in. And this sight will get migrated to something else. Maybe I'll put it on a rifle that I build and end up getting rid of. But or maybe this might go on a shotgun. But there you go. So let's go ahead and continue on with a couple of final steps here. One of the last things I want to do is put witness marks on the screws that I just staked down. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a mark that goes from the body of the sight to the screw itself. Oh, too much. Herp de derp. Terrible. So that was not intentional. So we're going to have to clean that up. Well, side benefit is I get an extra bit of white paint in there to lock up the, or extra bit of staking there. So you see I'm doing it, what I'm doing right there. Just making a little mark on the screw and on the side of the sight, just so you can see if that screw decides to back out. See, there and there. There you go. So I'm going to let that dry as well. And then I'm going to take this out to the range, fire its first shots. Like I said, this is brand new for me. I haven't fired it yet. So fire some first shots and then come back and give you all a couple of thoughts and then go from there. So see you out at the range. All right, so we're back from the range here and going to give you a couple thoughts. Ran fine. The gap doesn't seem to have a negative impact at all. Again, I don't like having that little bit of gap back there, so I'm going to probably swap this out with something else, but we'll see when the time comes. Maybe the Romeo Zero Pro, I think it is. It's Sig's smaller version of their Romeo Zero. Seems to be upgraded. But at any rate, I do like the sight. It's a Holosun product. I'm a fan of the Holosun products. I like the fact that it's enclosed. Another thing I don't like about it, there's no solar backup. So I didn't get quite the right version, but installed fine, shot fine. Didn't have any major issues with, or any issues at all with it. So if you are looking for something that's just enclosed, pretty budget friendly, single dot, then this is the way to go. So there you go. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Please help us out with that algorithm and give us a subscribe as well. And click that bell notification icon off to the right so you can be notified of any new content that we might post. I'm going to run probably a couple thousand rounds through this just to see how it holds up compared to the 50 or the EPS carry that I have on my daily carry. So I'm sure it's not going to fail. Probably same quality as the multi-reticle green version. That was the other thing. I didn't quite like the red. I'm used to having green dots, but it is what it is. I think that's more personal preference than anything. So there you go. Rambling now. Stay safe. We'll see you out on the range.